So I just got done frying up some meat. You say, why are you telling me that? Because I've shared a little bit on the podcast and maybe some other places, I don't know, that I've tried to change my diet the last month or so. I don't like the word diet. I just decided I'm going to live different. I'm going to do some things different. And the first thing really that changed was just committing to eating a cleaner diet, knowing what I'm eating, knowing what I'm consuming. And there's been some pros and there's a little bit of cons. And so I thought, you know what, for one of these just the thoughts, I'll probably just share my thoughts on this. If you had to call it something, people say, well, what kind of diet you doing? The thing I would say it's closest to would be an animal-based diet. So that means I'm eating a lot of protein. So that would mean hamburger, sausage, bacon, chicken, what else? I don't know. And eggs, and then fruit. Still haven't quite got to the vegetable camp, but I take a little bit of supplement here to make sure I get those veggies and stuff in. And so I got some honey in there, some cinnamon in there. That's basically what I consume on a regular basis, in addition to coffee and water. And I'll tell you what, it has been a big game changer for how I feel physically and mentally. I thought it was going to be this arduous task, and I decided I'm not going to make a big deal of this. I'm not going to be like day 12 of I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to do it. I'll share a couple things with friends, or I think I made a couple posts maybe on my Instagram story like, hey, this is what's for lunch. But nobody's asking for recipes and nobody's asking me for tips. But I'll just tell you, changing what I ate was a big game changer. And I got a wife and 3 kids, so we're still functioning within that. But it's real simple. The pro to this would be I know what I'm eating, and it's eliminated a lot of negative options. The con to that would be, you get invited to dinner somewhere, or you're at Thanksgiving or something like that. It does eliminate what you can eat. Now you could choose to, for a day or whatever, to not do that. And I know for me, I've told my family on Christmas Day, I'm eating whatever. I'm getting the stretchy pants on. I'm eating whatever. I imagine the 26th, I'll pay the price for that. But yeah, man, I'm not being punished. I've just chosen to do this. I knew mentally and physically I didn't feel well, and I needed to do something different. And so that's been the deal. One of the things that's come from that is in the morning, I'm up now earlier than ever and making my kids some breakfast, and I've never done that before. Dad's not grabbing a Pop-Tart or a Belvita or a cookie or whatever else I would have grabbed just to walk out the door, and then wonder why an hour or two later I don't feel hungry, or I'm eating something out of my desk I shouldn't be eating. No, that's gone. That's another thing. Get rid of that junk. Don't even let it be a temptation. I had a whole bunch of junk right in my drawer just in case you ever had a sugar crash. Got rid of it. It's a pretty empty drawer now, but I've replaced it with better things. So I would say that is a massive pro. Just feeling better, having a different confidence about what I'm putting into my body and understanding what I'm putting into my body. I'm not trying to be a triathlete. I'm not trying to be a bodybuilder. I'm not trying to look the best at the beach. I'm trying to feel better. I'm trying to have more energy and hopefully take care of myself for real, okay? And I've had moments, but this is, again, I'm a month or so into this, and I'm not lecturing nobody. I'm not lecturing nobody, but I'll tell you what, it's very eye-opening. I'd say a con to this is realizing all the stuff that's in our food. I'm not going to get on that soapbox right now. I don't think this is the spot. There is a spot for it, but all the stuff that's in our food. You say, that's just what we eat. It's just what we buy. It's just living in America, at least for us Americans. And you're like, but you don't have to. You don't have to eat like that. You don't have to live like that. You say, but it's already in the freezer. It's already on the shelf. I know, but you're not going to feel great, and you're certainly not going to be at your best. I mean, that's just it. And it was for me. I was habitually just eating and grabbing and on the go. It was just whatever was convenient, whatever was the easiest. I'd eat the same thing for 3 days if that was the easiest. I'll wear the same clothes for a week. I don't need to have a lot of variety in my life. As a matter of fact, even with clean eating, I pretty much eat the same thing most days. But it's fantastic. It's great, and I know it's better for me. So the con would be, man, you start looking at the stuff that's in your food, and you'll realize, well, that's why you feel like garbage. Hey, good timing. Garbage man's outside right now getting the garbage. That sounds like the recycle guy. But I start to look at that and realize I don't have to eat like this. I don't have to consume that. And the other thing I'm trying to avoid, this is just me. It's just me sitting here, just a thought, that I'm trying to avoid being the guy that years down the road is on, all these different pills and medications and going to the doctor 2 or 3 times. I just don't want to do that. If I can avoid it, I don't want to do it. The Lord can call me home now before the garbage man leaves, but I just don't want to do that. Here's another con. I hit on it earlier, but going to other people's houses to eat and stuff, I don't want to come across like I'm better than you. I don't want to come across as if I don't like your food or I don't appreciate the invitation. So that's a tough one. That's a tough one to navigate. So I try to figure out, kind of what I can eat and don't eat and things of that nature. But I want to say this before I get off this one. One of the first pushbacks that I hear from anybody, and maybe this is you, and maybe you've heard this too, one of the first pushbacks that I get is it's just so expensive to do it, right? It's just so expensive. Let me say to that, I don't think it is. I don't think it is. A couple weeks ago, went to the store and I bought some things and I thought, I want to see how long this lasts me for the week. Now, I'm pretty much making my meals for breakfast and lunch. And then again, breakfast, I'm feeding my kids a little bit. Now, I have an advantage because my wife bought a bag of like sausage links so I can cook them up and whatever. But for the most part, that lunch at least, if not breakfast too, cost me just under $23. I think it was $22.90. That's what I bought. I went to a Meijer grocery store. I can't remember. I bought some different meats and eggs, and I don't remember what else was in that bag. $23. If I take you to lunch and we go to anywhere, McDonald's or anywhere else, I'm going to be at least to $23. Just the two of us. If I say, hey, I got this, man, I'll buy your lunch. $23. So if I don't eat out, I've just saved a ton of money. You say, oh, well, so eating out so easy and convenient. So you can make your food ahead of time. I just fried up a bunch of meat. It's got a bunch of food in the freezer or refrigerator that I could pull out and eat at a moment's notice. You could do it too. And the other part of that is I'm not buying cases of Pepsi. I'm not buying cartons of ice cream. I'm not buying bags of Oreos. I'm not buying boxes of Pop-Tarts. I'm not buying all that junk. You look at the stuff in your house or in your grocery cart or in your cabinets that you bought. Ask yourself, while it may taste good in the moment, what is this really doing for me? And what did it cost? So that's just a thought, man. You're going to stock up on something, stock up on protein, stock up on fruits, vegetables, things that are good for you, drink a lot of water. Hey man, I'm telling you, mentally and physically, it's a game changer. I'll talk to you in a bit.